The Galactic Alliance station floated silently between stars like a city made of light. Ships of every shape moved around it in slow, graceful patterns. Some were smooth, like glass, others sharp like blades, and a few looked almost alive. Inside the station, thousands of species walked through wide corridors, their voices blending into a constant, soft hum. Humans were still new here. Many alien races watched them carefully. Some believed humans were unpredictable. Others thought they were weak because they had entered the interstellar stage later than most civilizations. But there were also those who felt curious about humans, wondering how a species born on a fragile world had survived so many disasters and still remained hopeful. Adrian Hale walked quietly through the central hall, his boots making faint sounds against the polished floor. He wore a simple diplomatic uniform with no decorations. He did not look important, and that was exactly how he preferred it. He stopped near a massive transparent window. Beyond it, stars burned like distant fires. For a moment he allowed himself to breathe slowly, calming his thoughts. Today was risky. He had requested a meeting with someone few dared approach directly, Princess Lyra of the Sarathin. The Sarathin were known across the galaxy for their intelligence, discipline, and powerful influence in the Alliance. Their princess had become a symbol of strength after guiding her people through difficult wars and political conflicts. Many admired her. Many feared her. Adrian had never met her before, but he had watched recordings of her speeches. There was something in her eyes that most people ignored, a quiet exhaustion hidden behind perfect control. That was why he was here. A sudden shift in the atmosphere spread across the hall. Conversations slowed. Heads turned toward the entrance. The princess had arrived. Lyra stepped forward with smooth confidence. Her tall figure moved gracefully, her glowing skin reflecting soft shades of silver and blue. She wore light royal armor that allowed easy movement, showing she valued readiness more than decoration. Guards followed at a respectful distance, but she did not hide behind them. Her gaze moved across the crowd, sharp and observant. When her eyes reached Adrian, she paused. He did not move closer. He did not bow deeply or try to impress her. He simply stood calmly, watching the stars. That alone made him different. Every step drew attention. Diplomats whispered. Some recorded the moment quietly. Adrian sensed her presence before he turned. He faced her and gave a respectful nod, neither submissive nor arrogant. "You requested an audience with me?" Lyra said. Her voice carried authority, but also curiosity.
Yeah.
Her eyes studied him carefully. "Why?"
This single word felt heavy. Adrian took a slow breath.
He knew many expected him to ask for technology, alliances, or political favors. Humans often tried to prove themselves quickly in the Alliance. But he had come for another reason. "I wanted to ask you something personal," he said gently. Her guards shifted slightly, alert. Lyra tilted her head. "Personal?" "Yes." Silence stretched between them. "Then speak," she said. He looked directly at her, his voice calm and steady. "I wanted to ask if you are tired." Shock flickered across her face before she could hide it. Around them, several diplomats stopped moving completely. No one spoke to her like that. Not advisors, not generals, not enemies. Her voice lowered. "Explain." Adrian glanced briefly at the crowd. "You carry responsibility for millions. Every decision you make affects lives. Everyone expects strength from you." "But strength does not mean you never feel exhausted," he continued softly. "I thought maybe someone should ask how you feel, not what you can give." Not what you can give. Lyra felt something unfamiliar inside her chest. For years she had been seen as a symbol, a leader, a warrior, a diplomat, but rarely as a person. "You crossed interstellar space to ask me this?" she said quietly.
Yes. Why? Because humans believe understanding someone matters more than gaining advantage?
She found none. A small smile escaped her, surprising even herself. You are unusual, human. I hear that often. She laughed softly, and nearby observers exchanged shocked looks. The princess rarely showed open amusement during official gatherings.
What is your name? She asked. Adrian Hale. Walk with me, Adrian Hale.
Adrian followed calmly. They entered an observation deck where stars stretched endlessly beyond transparent walls. The noise of the hall faded, leaving only distant hums of machinery. Lyra stood beside the window, her posture relaxing slightly. The truth, she said slowly, is that yes, I am tired. The admission felt strange but freeing. Adrian nodded gently. He did not rush to respond, allowing her space to continue. My advisors speak of strategy.
My people speak of hope. My enemies speak of weakness.
But no one speaks to me as simply myself. That sounds lonely, he said. She hesitated, then nodded once. Before she could say more, a loud alarm echoed through the station. Red lights flashed along the walls. Lyra's expression changed instantly, calm and focused. Security alert, she whispered. Outside the window, a massive dark ship appeared. Its design did not match any known Alliance species. Adrian watched quietly. What is that? He asked. I do not know, she admitted, which made the situation even more serious. Emergency messages filled the air. Guards rushed toward her. Your Highness, unknown vessel detected. No communication response. Lyra's eyes narrowed. Prepare defensive protocols. She turned to Adrian. Stay close. Despite the danger, he remained calm. As they moved through corridors toward the command center, tension grew. Citizens hurried away, guided by security drones. Inside the command room, holographic displays showed the unknown ship slowly approaching. It has no visible weapons, one officer said, but its energy readings are unstable. Adrian stepped closer, observing silently. Something about the ship's movement felt hesitant. Does it look like an attack formation? He asked. The officers looked at him briefly before returning to their screens. No, one admitted. Lyra noticed his observation.
You see something? It feels like someone unsure, not aggressive.
She considered his words. Humans often noticed emotional patterns others ignored. Suddenly, a faint signal appeared on the communication channel, weak and fragmented. Open it, she ordered. Static filled the room. Then a faint voice, distorted and trembling.
Help! Everyone froze. The unknown ship was not attacking.
It was calling for help. Lyra glanced at Adrian. His calm expression showed quiet understanding. Without knowing why, she felt reassured by his presence. Prepare rescue protocols, she said.
Some officers hesitated.
It could be a trap. Lyra remained firm. If someone asks for help, we respond.
That decision told him everything about who she truly was. As the rescue operation began, he realized something unexpected. He had come to ask a simple question. But now he stood beside a princess, during a moment that could change the future of both their species. And for the first time since arriving at the station, Lyra felt less alone. The command room felt heavier than before. But red lights still flashed slowly along the walls, but now the urgency had shifted from fear to focused action. Officers moved quickly between holographic panels, adjusting coordinates and scanning the unknown vessel. Princess Lyra stood at the center, calm and steady, yet her eyes showed deep concentration. Adrian remained slightly behind her, observing quietly. He did not try to take control or give unnecessary orders. Instead, he watched, listening carefully to everything. The damaged ship drifted slowly near the station, its surface dark and uneven. Sections of its hull flickered with unstable energy. It looked less like a warship and more like something built for long journeys. "Life signs detected," one officer reported. "Very weak." Lyra nodded. "Prepare medical teams. Send drones." First occurred. A group of small rescue drones launched from the station, flying toward the damaged vessel like tiny stars. The room watched silently as they approached. Adrian leaned slightly closer to the holographic display. "It didn't fire when we got close," he said quietly.
That supports the idea it's not hostile. Lyra glanced at him briefly. She appreciated how he spoke calmly instead of trying to impress anyone.
"You notice details others ignore," she said. "Humans survive by noticing small changes," he replied. The drones reached the ship and began scanning its surface. Images appeared on the main screen. The vessel's structure was unfamiliar, with organic curves and faint glowing lines. "No known species match," another officer said. Lyra felt curiosity growing alongside caution.
"Open a stable communication channel," she ordered.
Static filled the room again. After several seconds, a faint image appeared. Distorted shapes moving slowly. The sound was weak, almost breaking apart. "Please, help!" The voice sounded fragile and filled with exhaustion. Lyra's expression softened. "We hear you. You are safe now.
Identify yourself."
Last survivor. System collapse. Please." The signal cut out again. Silence followed. Adrian felt a familiar weight in his chest. Humans understood desperation. Their history was full of moments where survival depended on strangers offering help. "Can you stabilize their ship remotely?" he asked. Engineers shook their heads. "Energy systems are failing. If we don't bring them inside soon, they may not survive."
Authorized boarding team. Some officers hesitated again. Unknown ships often hid dangers.
But she did not change her order. Adrian noticed the confidence in her voice. She was willing to risk herself to save someone she did not know. That, he thought, was true strength. Minutes later, the rescue team reached the ship and forced open a damaged entry point. The internal images appeared on the screen. Dark corridors, flickering lights, and floating debris. "Atmosphere unstable," a rescuer reported. They moved deeper until they reached a small chamber. Inside was a single figure, an alien unlike any species the Alliance had recorded. Their body glowed faintly with soft golden light, but the glow flickered weakly, as if fading.
"Life signs critical," the medic said. Lyra stepped closer to the display.
"Bring them aboard immediately." The rescue team carefully transported the survivor back to the station. Medical staff prepared emergency treatment rooms. Adrian followed Lyra as she walked quickly toward the medical wing. Guards stayed behind, allowing her privacy. "You risked much for a stranger," he said, without slowing. "A leader who ignores suffering loses the right to lead." He nodded. Inside the medical chamber, advanced machines surrounded the injured alien. Doctors worked quickly, scanning and stabilizing the patient. The creature's glowing skin slowly regained brightness. Lyra watched silently. Adrian stood beside her, hands folded behind his back. After a while, one doctor turned toward them. "They will survive. Extreme exhaustion and energy depletion, but stable." Lyra allowed herself a small breath she did not realize she had been holding. "Can they communicate?" she asked. "Soon," the doctor said. They waited quietly. Adrian noticed how the princess stood. Strong posture, but her shoulders carried invisible weight. He remembered his question earlier.
"You are tired." Now he understood it more deeply.
The alien survivor slowly opened their eyes. Their gaze moved around the room before stopping on Lyra. "We responded to your call," she said gently. The alien studied her face.
You lead here.
Soon, the words made the room tense again. Lyra stepped closer.
Explain. The survivor's glow flickered unevenly.
Something follows. Hunters. They destroy systems.
My people gone. Adrian felt a chill. What kind of hunters? He asked softly.
The alien turned their gaze toward him. They fear humans. The room fell silent.
Lyra looked at Adrian. Why would they fear humans? She asked.
The alien struggled to speak. Humans unpredictable.
Adapt fast, resist control. Adrian exchanged a glance with Lyra. That description sounded familiar.
Before more could be said, warning signals appeared on nearby screens. Another unknown object detected. Approaching fast, the tension returned instantly. Lyra's expression hardened. "Show me," she said. A new image appeared, a sleek dark vessel moving directly toward the station. Not damaged, not weak, purposeful. Adrian felt the shift in atmosphere. This one felt different from the first ship. "This is not a rescue situation," Lyra said quietly.
No,
Adrian agreed. For the first time since meeting him, she noticed something else in his expression. Not fear, but readiness.
Adrian, she said, stay here. You are not military. Humans don't step back when danger comes to people they care about. She paused, surprised by the word care.
You asked why I wanted to talk to you. Maybe this is part of the answer. Before she could respond, alarms grew louder.
The approaching ship opened communication channels without permission. A deep voice echoed through the station.
Return the survivor. They belong to us.
Lyra stepped forward.
This is Princess Lyra of the Serathan. You have entered Alliance space without authorization.
Identify yourselves.
The voice answered coldly. We are collectors. The being you rescued is our property. Silence followed. Lyra's eyes hardened. No living being is property. The voice responded with quiet amusement. Then you choose conflict. Outside the station, the dark vessel began charging weapons. The peaceful conversation between a human and a princess had turned into something much larger.
Adrian looked at Lyra.
She met his gaze, and for the first time they both understood that their meeting had not been coincidence. Something bigger had started the moment she asked him why he wanted to talk to her. The command center felt tense as the dark vessel moved closer to the Galactic Alliance station. Its surface absorbed light instead of reflecting it, making it look like a shadow drifting through space. Energy readings from the ship increased steadily, showing that its weapons were charging. Princess Lyra stood tall at the center of the room, calm but alert. Officers worked quickly around her, adjusting shields and redirecting station power to defensive systems. Adrian stood near one of the side consoles, watching the display carefully. Even though he was not a soldier, he understood danger when he saw it. The unknown ship moved with confidence, not hesitation. Whoever controlled it believed they had the advantage. They are locking targeting systems, one officer reported.
Lyra crossed her arms slightly. Raise defensive shields to maximum. The station's outer barrier glowed brighter, forming a shimmering wall around the massive structure.
The rescued alien remained in the medical wing, guarded and protected. Their warning echoed in Lyra's mind. Hunters.
They destroy systems. Adrian stepped closer to her.
You think they will attack immediately?
He asked quietly.
They want to create fear before negotiation. It is a common tactic.
Humans had learned similar lessons throughout their history. A new communication request appeared on the screen.
They are requesting direct visual contact, an officer said.
Lyra did not hesitate. Accept.
The holographic projection activated, revealing a tall alien figure with sharp features and dark metallic armor. Their eyes glowed faintly, and their expression carried cold confidence.
"I am Commander Varix," the being said. "Return the asset you stole and we will leave peacefully."
"We rescued a survivor asking for help. They are not an asset." Varix tilted his head slightly.
Your compassion is inefficient. Adrian watched silently, studying the alien's posture and tone. Lyra continued.
"You entered Alliance territory aggressively. Explain your intentions."
"Our intention is simple," Varix said.
"Collection." The word felt heavy. Lyra narrowed her eyes.
"You destroy civilizations to collect survivors?"
"They belong to us," Varix answered calmly. Adrian felt anger rise but controlled himself.
"No living being belongs to anyone," he said quietly. Varix's gaze shifted toward him for the first time.
"A human," he said. "Interesting." The commander studied Adrian as if analyzing a strange object. "We have encountered humans before," Varix continued. "Unpredictable, resistant." Lyra noticed how Adrian did not react emotionally. He simply stood firm. "You will not take the survivor," Lyra said.
Varix's expression did not change. "Then we will take them by force."
The connection ended.
Immediately, the dark ship fired a burst of energy toward the station. The shields absorbed the attack, but the impact shook the command center slightly.
Shields holding, an officer reported. Lyra moved closer to the tactical display.
"They are testing our defenses," she said. Adrian studied the ship's movement.
"They want us to react emotionally," he said. "They expect panic."
"And your suggestion?"
"Stay calm. Show them humans in Seraphin don't break easily."
A small smile appeared on her face.
"You speak like a strategist. Humans learned through experience," he replied. Outside, the enemy ship changed position, circling slowly.
Suddenly, the rescued alien's image appeared on a side screen. Medical staff requested immediate contact. Lyra allowed it. The glowing alien looked weak, but determined. "They are here," the survivor said. "They track energy signatures.
They think control equals survival."
Why do they fear humans? The alien's eyes shifted toward Adrian.
"Humans cannot be predicted," they said.
"Collectors use control technology. Humans resist mentally and emotionally."
Adrian felt surprised. "We resist?" "Yes," the alien whispered.
"Your species bonds strongly. Hard to isolate. Hard to break."
Lyra felt pride hearing those words.
Another attack hit the shields, stronger this time. The station shook again.
"They are increasing power."
"Prepare defensive fighters."
Small ships launched from the station, surrounding it like protective birds.
Adrian watched carefully. "You're planning to hold them off?" he asked.
"Yes."
"Until they realize force will not work." But Varix had different plans. The enemy ship suddenly released several smaller drones, each moving rapidly toward different points on the station's shield.
"They're trying to overload multiple areas," an officer said.
Lyra's eyes sharpened. "Redirect power and maintain shield balance." Adrian noticed a pattern in the drone's movement.
"They are not random," he said.
"Explain." "They move like hunters guiding prey. They want us to focus on defense while they prepare something else." She analyzed the data again and realized he might be right. "Scan for secondary energy buildup," she ordered. Moments later, another officer spoke.
"Hidden weapon charging behind their main hull."
They plan a decisive strike. Adrian stepped closer. "What if we surprise them instead?"
What if we surprise them instead?
She raised an eyebrow. Humans are known for unexpected tactics, he added with a small smile. She felt curiosity again, the same feeling she had when he first spoke to her. What do you suggest? Not attack. Talk. They already refused negotiation. Maybe they expect threats, he said. But not understanding? Lyra hesitated. It sounded risky. But something about Adrian's calm confidence made her listen. Open communication again, she ordered. The holographic image of Varex appeared. You continue to resist, the commander said. Lyra remained calm. You want control, but control creates enemies. Varex replied.
Adrian stepped forward slightly. Maybe you fear something else, he said gently.
Varex focused on him. You fear losing control over beings who choose their own path. Silence followed. The commander's eyes narrowed. You misunderstand our purpose. Then explain it, Adrian said. Lyra watched him carefully. He spoke without aggression, but with strength. Varex paused longer than expected. That hesitation told Lyra something important.
Adrian continued.
You call yourselves collectors, but maybe you are afraid of chaos. Humans live with chaos. We survive because we connect, not control. The commander remained silent. Outside, the drones slowed slightly. Lyra realized something unexpected. The conversation itself affected the battle. You believe control equals safety, she added. But forcing others creates resistance. For a moment, Varex said nothing. Then the commander's voice lowered. You defend weakness. No, Adrian replied calmly. We defend choice. The communication ended abruptly again. The enemy ship stopped its weapon charge. Confusion spread through the command center. What are they doing? One officer asked. Lyra watched closely. They are thinking. Adrian exhaled slowly. Humans don't always win with strength, he said. Sometimes we win by changing the conversation. Lyra felt something shift inside her. Admiration mixed with trust. For the first time since the battle began, the enemy ship did not attack, but she knew this pause would not last forever. And deep down, she sensed that whatever happened next would change the relationship between humans and the galaxy forever. The command center remained silent after the communication ended. Everyone watched the enemy ship carefully, waiting for the next move. The dark vessel floated outside the station like a shadow frozen in space. Its weapons were still active, but it had stopped firing. Princess Lyra stood without moving, her eyes fixed on the tactical display. Around her, officers exchanged uncertain looks. They had expected more attacks, not silence. Adrian remained beside her, calm as before.
They are not leaving, one officer said quietly. No, Lyra replied. They are deciding. Outside the station, the smaller drones slowly returned to the enemy ship.
The change felt strange, as if the battle had paused to breathe. Adrian folded his arms lightly.
Maybe they didn't expect anyone to challenge their ideas instead of their weapons. Lyra glanced at him. You spoke to them as if they could change. All intelligent beings can change, he said.
The question is whether they want to. Before she could respond, a new signal appeared. They are requesting communication again, an officer said.
Lyra nodded.
Open channel. Commander Varex appeared once more.
His expression looked less confident than before, though he tried to hide it. You delay the inevitable, he said. Lyra remained calm. You hesitate. Varex ignored the comment and turned his gaze toward Adrian. You... human, he said slowly. Your words are unusual.
You claim connection creates strength. Prove it. Adrian felt every eye in the room turn toward him. He stepped forward slightly. You already know it's true, he said. You hunt alone because you believe control prevents chaos. But control only creates fear. Barrax's eyes narrowed. Fear maintains order. No, Adrian replied gently. Trust does. Silence followed. The commander studied him carefully.
You think you understand us after one conversation?
No, Adrian said, but I understand loneliness. The word hung in the air.
Lyra felt something shift again inside her chest. She remembered her own feelings earlier. Exhaustion, isolation.
Barrax spoke again, quieter this time. Our purpose is survival.
We eliminate variables, and yet you chase a single survivor across space, Adrian said.
That doesn't sound like survival. That sounds like fear of losing control. The commander did not answer immediately. Lyra stepped forward.
You entered Alliance space and attacked without negotiation,
she said firmly. But we still offer peace. Peace is weakness, Barrax said. Lyra shook her head slowly. Peace requires strength. Outside, the enemy ship's weapon systems powered down slightly. Officers noticed immediately. They are reducing energy output, one whispered. Adrian continued speaking calmly.
You said humans are unpredictable, he said. That's true.
We don't always follow logic alone. Sometimes we choose compassion, even when it risks everything.
Barrax stared at him. And you believe that makes you strong? Yes, Adrian said simply.
The commander seemed to struggle with something unseen. After a long moment, he spoke again. The survivor you rescued carries data. Knowledge we require. Lyra crossed her arms. Then ask, not attack. Another long silence followed. Finally, Barrax said quietly, We do not know how to ask. The admission shocked the entire command center. Adrian felt his chest tighten. For a species that valued control, admitting uncertainty must be extremely difficult. That's why you collect, Adrian said gently.
You don't understand connection, so you try to own it.
The commander's expression shifted slightly. Not anger, but something closer to reflection. Lyra spoke again, her voice softer now.
If your goal is knowledge, we can share it. But you must respect freedom. Outside, the dark ship drifted slowly, no longer aiming directly at the station.
Minutes passed, like hours. Then Barrax spoke. We will withdraw temporarily. Relief spread through the command center. But, the commander added, we will observe. Observation is acceptable. Aggression is not. The communication ended. The dark vessel slowly turned away, moving into the distance until it disappeared into the starfield. Silence filled the room. Then, quiet cheers began among the officers. Lyra exhaled slowly, allowing tension to leave her body. She turned toward Adrian. You changed the outcome, she said. He shook his head. We changed it. She smiled faintly. They walked together toward the observation deck again, leaving the busy command center behind. Outside the transparent wall, stars shone peacefully. For a moment, neither spoke. Finally, Lyra looked at him.
When I asked why you wanted to talk to me, she said softly, I expected a political request or a personal ambition.
But instead, she continued, you asked if I was tired. He nodded, and your answer surprised me more than any battle today, she said. Adrian looked at the stars. Leaders forget they are allowed to be human.
Oh, whatever
whatever their species is, he said gently, sometimes someone just needs to remind them. You understand people deeply, she said. I just listen, he replied. She felt warmth spread through her chest, something calm and steady. For years, she said slowly, everyone saw me as a symbol.
Today you spoke to me as a person. That's who you are, he said.
She turned toward the stars again, feeling lighter than she had in a long time. You surprised me, Adrian Hale, she said quietly. He laughed softly. You told me that already.
Yes, she said with a small smile. But now I understand why.
Behind them, the rescued alien rested safely in the medical wing. The threat had passed, at least for now. And somewhere in the galaxy, a species that believed only in control had experienced something new. Conversation instead of conquest. Lyra realized something important. The meeting she thought would be small had changed everything. Not only for the station, not only for the rescued survivor, but for her. She looked at Adrian again. Walk with me, she said softly. They moved along the observation deck side by side, not as princess and visitor, but as two beings who had chosen to understand each other. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly, full of unknown futures. And for the first time in a long time, Lyra did not feel tired.